Hey, 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 hello, hello, hello. Today is a magical Thursday. We are almost over the weekend, and I hope that you are all doing well. Welcome to this show. Who are you? I am your host, Dr. Leah. And today we are traveling all the way to Canada. Yes, we are going to Canada, and we are going to meet such a precious gentleman who has been doing great works, who has been doing great things in transformative coaching. He is using new techniques, and I'm very happy to have him on board today to host him because he will be teaching us about coaching using breathwork. So we will get to understand what it's all about breathwork. How do you do it? How can it benefit you in your daily life or in your coaching or wherever you will be wanting to use it, and how you can collaborate with him and just kind of fulfilling our lives and living our highest selves through different things and different ways of doing things. So I am honored to have Benedict in this show. So I will just bring him on and then we can get rolling. Hello, Benedict. How are you?
Hi, Leah. I'm great. And what a beautiful introduction. Thank you so
Awesome.
much for inviting me onto your show.
Thank you, thank you, thank you so much for coming on board. And I'm so grateful to meet you, to have you on this show, because this show we actually try to bring people who can create impact on our viewers, people who are creating impact in their spheres of influence. And as I have seen your biography, I have gone to your website, I've seen how much you are impacting. I mean, you're global, you're in Canada, you're in Europe, so you're kind of more global, like unlike so many of us. And so it is an honor to have you on our show today. And I'm so grateful, looking forward to get more information, details on what is breath working as a technique in coaching. So before we go on, I'll just ask you to introduce yourself to our viewers, to our people, both who are watching live and who will be watching on a replay basis, so that they can get to understand who is Benedict.
Of course. Well, before we do that, Leah, I'm going to ask if we can maybe do something together. And that's a very simple
Super.
thing. I'd like
Super.
us just to take 3 breaths together. And if you're
Awesome.
watching this live or you're watching this on a replay, I'd love you to just join along with us. Because just by the simple act of breathing together, coming into presence together, that changes everything. So a simple and an exercise to do.
Yes.
Should we give it a go?
Yes.
Let's let's take 3 breaths together then.
Okay.
Thank you, Leah. I appreciate
Awesome.
your comment.
Oh my goodness, that was beautiful. That was so beautiful. Never done something like that, as in, kind of intentionally.
Can you feel the difference that it makes to a space when you just consciously, intentionally take some breaths with someone?
Oh, yes, it is. It's a big difference.
Mm.
Huge difference.
So I do that almost with every meeting I have now. I just take a couple of breaths with the person that I'm speaking to, and it honestly such a simple practice, but so profound. Um,
Exactly.
that's something beautiful to do.
Awesome.
So, what is breath work? That's a big.
Who is Benedict?
Who is Benedict? That was the first question. Okay, well, I'll tell you a few little details about me. My name's Benedict Beaumont. I'm British, but I live in Canada now. I've been here about 10 months. I moved here last November. I'm a breathwork facilitator, which means I coach people in breathwork. I run training courses. I was running live workshops. I'm not at the moment. I
Mhm.
run training courses, workshops, training courses, and retreats in breathwork. So
Mhm.
that's the kind of headline, what I am, what I do. I'm British. I'm in my late 40s. I started my breathing school, which is called Breathing Space, about 2.5 years ago. Before that, I was a secondary school teacher for about 15 years, teaching in high schools in England on the south coast, around where I'm from, which is from Brighton. And before that, I was an IT technician in my 20s. I've always traveled a lot. I've loved adventure and I've loved excitement. Um, I, I'm from Brighton in the UK. What else can I tell you? I'm a big sports fan. Um, I'm a big Manchester United fan and I like cricket if you have any English watchers who like that.
Oh,
So, really, I like to think of myself as a normal middle aged English guy. I don't think I'm anything particularly special or anything particularly amazing. I am just a normal guy who happens to have stumbled upon this amazing transformative technique called breathwork.
awesome. Awesome. Thank you so much, Benedict, for the introduction. What I like most about, for me, sometimes I can be loud, I can be so, all over, but there is a peace within you, within yourself, and I believe it comes from just the practical activity we have done together of just taking, the first three breaths together and just allowing the space to take over and just allowing that atmosphere to be clear and to, kind of I don't know, for my words, I would say it's kind of commanding the atmosphere to hear you and to serve you.
Hmm. It's about making some space together,
Exactly. And
where
that
something beautiful can happen.
and that's so beautiful because that space has been created already, and
Mm.
it feels so good to be in that space because it is filled with so much peace on it, and it's flowing, it's flowing in its own way, and it allows the flow to go. So, Benedict,
Do you? I've got
before,
a question or a point about that. Do you know
yes,
that kind of graphic visual image of two faces in set? And if you look at it in one way, it looks like two faces. But if
yeah,
you look at it in another way, it looks like a sort of chalice or a vase.
exactly.
Now, you kind of imagine, or when I'm with someone, I kind of imagine, well, we have got two people here, but we have got this space in between us that looks like a vase or a chalice. And we get to decide what we fill that up with. When we take a breath together, we are filling that. We are consciously creating that beautiful vase that we then can fill it up. And really, that can make something extraordinary and beautiful grow in it.
Beautiful, beautiful. And, just the fact in the few minutes that we have just been doing the introduction, the practical, we have used two powerful words, and that is, creating that space and, not even necessarily creating this, it is the intention and consciously, because these two words have so much power in them
Mm,
because you're choosing, you're taking that upon yourself to command and say, this is what it's going to be, this is how it's going to be.
exactly. Exactly.
Awesome. Awesome. So, Benedict, take us through breathwork and how you use it as a transformation coaching technique?
Breathwork is a really big field. It's a bit like yoga, for instance.
Hmm.
There's so many different practitioners and facilitators, so many different techniques and exercises and things that you can use it for. So you may learn some breathwork techniques to help with anxiety, to help you calm down, for instance. Uh, Breathwork tools for meditation, for instance. But there are breathwork exercises also at the other end of the scale to invigorate, to give energy, to bring brightness. There are breathworks to all sorts of things that you can do with breathwork. Breathworks for physical health and well-being. Breathworks to increase your lung health and your respiratory fitness.
Hmm.
Now, So as a breathwork facilitator, I know lots and lots of different techniques, and I would be very happy to demonstrate a few different techniques, a few tools that anyone watching this can take away, and they can try
Mhm.
out a little breathwork technique at some point for a particular situation. But mostly what I do, I use breathwork to make transformative spaces where people can heal deep emotional wounds in themselves and connect to what they need to do to make themselves whole, to help them reach their potential. And that
Mhm.
is a very particular, unique aspect of breathwork. I use a technique called conscious breathwork, or a conscious connected technique. And in this space, extraordinary things can happen.
Mhm.
It has been likened to plant medicine, like ayahuasca, like
Mhm.
drug-free plant medicine. It
Mhm.
is, and people's ranges of experiences will go from physical healing, deep physical healing, to releasing trauma or healing emotional wounds, to sometimes even having deep spiritual experiences and contact with whatever their vision of the divine is as well.
Okay. Okay. That is very beautiful. That is beautiful. I mean, it looks like it is, it is broadly kind of fulfilling a lot of different parts of somebody's life in different phases of life and also in different stages of life. Um, I mean, I have kind of picked a lot from just what you have said that for deeper healing, spiritual purposes, kind of trying to build yourself inside out, because many people know yoga, of course, because yoga has been there for a very long time. You know, when we come to coaching is something that has been there, but it was not something that was very profound that people would embrace and appreciate like they are doing right now, because, people have begun to see the importance of coaching. It's not about somebody telling you what to do, it's somebody guiding you and walking with you to take those steps that you're not able to. And I find it profound how breath work is coming alongside that and how it is being used as a technique.
Mm,
Um, you've said it's also kind of a medicine, and I don't want people to take us wrong that they would stop doing their medicinal part, prescribed to begin the breath work. But the most important thing is that they can implement this in their lifestyle to reduce all these chemicals in their body and begin to consciously allow clean space in them.
mm.
Walk us
Well, that was a
through.
beautiful. That was a beautiful little speech there, Leah. And there's lots in there that just made my heart absolutely sing. I
So
love what you said about our role as coaches or facilitator is just walking with people. It's not telling them what to do or giving them advice. It's just walking with them and holding them. Ram Dass, um, one of his famous quotes is, "We're all just walking each other home," and that is,
exactly.
and this is my real firm belief. It's a cornerstone of my philosophy of everything that I do. We are not, everyone already inside them has everything that they need to heal and transform. This is not our role as teachers or healers or gurus to tell people what we do. All we're doing is making spaces and giving people tools where they can find their own magnificence within them.
Exactly, because at the end of the day, everybody has control over what they accept and what they do not accept. So they
Mm.
can open up to what space they want to be in, what atmosphere they want to entertain. Um, Walk us through on how a breath working would be like. For example, you're using it for people who are seeking deeper inner healing. People are coming from trauma. How would they be using the breath work as a form of healing?
I'm going to start by answering that. I'm going to start answering that question by talking about our body and ourselves, because
Mhm.
it is another of my deep beliefs is that our bodies are truly, truly wise. Almost at a cellular level, they are designed to know what they need to do in any situation to heal and transform. And that's just a natural gift of being alive and having a physical body. Our bodies just naturally know what they need to do. The problem is, most of the time, we don't listen. We're lost in our head somewhere. We're distracting ourselves with television, or in my case, sports sometimes, or we're worrying about our parents or our children, or we're getting anxious about our job and our work. And if we ever feel anything too much, like any pain or any discomfort, we will take a pill to numb ourselves and turn ourselves off. We do everything that we can to stop feeling. Now, when we're doing breath work, first of all, we're giving ourselves the time and the space to really listen to our bodies, to really feel into what it is we actually need. But more importantly, when we do conscious breath work, it is like energy coming into our body, a huge amount of energy, or prana, if you like that word, or life force. And our bodies know what they need to do with that energy. Just naturally, through their wisdom, they will know what it needs to do. And this isn't a conscious decision. Up here, we decide I need emotional healing, or I need to have a spiritual experience. You may think you know what you need, but your body just will naturally, instinctively know what it needs, and it will probably be something different to what you think. So when you do a breath work, and a breath work will usually be at least 30 minutes of breathing in a particular technique. And it's usually held in a workshop of at least a 60-minute session, but it could be longer. It could be a 90-minute workshop or a 3-hour workshop. Now, when we sit down and breathe for that amount of time, for 30 minutes or 60 minutes, all this energy comes into our bodies, and we all have some different kind of experience. So that may be physical healing. It may be emotional healing. It may be trauma release. It may be mental clarity and seeing solutions to problems, or it may be a spiritual experience. It's not up for me to tell people what their experience is going to be, or to interpret it afterwards. And also, always best to come with an open mind, because if you think you need one thing, you may get that, and that may be your experience, but it may be something completely different as well. This is a really process about empowering people to trust the wisdom of their own bodies. Does that all make sense?
Yes, definitely. Great. And it's and what I find amazing is how our bodies have an instinct that would not automatically be corresponding or coordinating with our minds. And just the fact that we have to be conscious on how our bodies and minds are working together, so that we can be able to have that balance, and not to have our mind is somewhere else, whereas our body is somewhere else. And then, and that's why I think many people try a lot of ways of healing or ways of improving their lifestyle, and it just doesn't work together, because these two beings are differently and are disconnected. And I think and that is kind of what you're trying to to have us coordinate these two, the body and the mind, together, because then the spirit will be reciprocating to both and bring these two parts together, that they can work together and not against each other, rubbing each other somehow.
Perfect. Perfectly described there.
Awesome. We are going to make a short break. Hold it just there. And when we come back, we are going to continue with our discussion on transformation coaching using breathwork techniques. Why I'm kind of getting more excited about this topic is because as we are growing, as we are continuing, as lives are changing, seasons are changing. We are going through one pandemic after another pandemic. We are getting into lockdowns. We are being unlocked. We go back to lockdowns. We have come to a transition where people are looking for something. People are looking for ways to be free. People are looking for ways to heal from all the things that are happening and trying to understand. And I believe this kind of activities can help us as our daily routine at home to practice one step at a time so that we can begin to create that space that we want to have, that we want to see, because the world is not going to create the space for us. So just hold on 1 minute. We will come back after this short break and we will continue with this awesome discussion about transformation coaching using breathwork techniques.
Your heart is tarnished black and blue. Betrayal is a feeling, not a word anymore. And you won't fall in love again. You've opened up too many times to be let down once more. And you say, I'll build a wall around myself.
Hello, and welcome back to our show. This show is Who Are You Show, and I am your host, Dr. Leah, and today we have our guest, Benedict. Benedict is from England, but at the moment he lives in Canada, and Benedict is a coach, is a facilitator, is a yoga teacher, and he uses a technique by where you use breath work for coaching, facilitation, wherever activities he's doing. And he has already done a practical kind of space creation when we started this show. So I hope if you're just jumping in, that you will go back and watch the replay and just see how he brought peace into that space. He helped us to create that space that we wanted to see. And now we have discussed about what is breath work and how it does it and why breath work. So as we continue, Benedict is going to help us understand how better we can implement breath work on our daily. What kind of small, simple steps that we can begin to do from today, from tomorrow, to change the space we are in, to kind of, rid off the negative energy and allow the positive energy to take our space so that we can grow, we can move, we can prosper, we can see clearly, we can begin to heal as we prepare ourselves into the next season, coming out of this season, going into the next season. So, Benedict, tell us more on how to use breathwork on our daily basis, how we can implement, and more how it is. We have talked about how it can help us to heal trauma, but in general, how does it help us to create balance in our lives?
Well, I could talk about this a lot, Leah, but I think we should have a demonstration. So, if it's okay with you, I'll talk you through a very simple breathwork technique called coherence breath. Now, something you said just before the break is that we need to bring, balance between our mind and our body. And in many traditions, it's kind of described as a very hard thing to do. It takes a lot of effort and it takes a lot of practice. I don't believe with that, and I don't subscribe to that. This is a natural, easy thing that we can do anytime. Anyone can do it. And this is one example, a really simple breath work called coherence breath that I'm going to teach you now, and we'll do it for 2 minutes, if that's okay. So if you're okay with a bit of dead space on air where nothing seems to be happening on the outside, but
Yes,
stuff will be happening on the inside, if that's okay by you.
that's very much okay.
Okay. So, and if you're watching this either live or on the recording, I'd love you to join in with us and see how it feels for you. So let's just first of all just sit in a comfortable position, preferably with a straight spine. Okay. Now I'd like you
Yep.
to close your eyes. Breathe through your nose. Just easy inhales and exhales. And I want you to become really aware of your body. Feel how it moves as you inhale. Feel your chest and your shoulders rise and fall. Feel the air entering and leaving your nose. Now, on an inhale, I want you to take your awareness inside to that still, quiet place within, where your wisest, truest, highest self belongs. A place of stillness, a place of wisdom. We'll rest there for a moment or two, and then we will start our breathing. And we're going to bring some counting to our breath. So wherever you are in your cycle, I want you to exhale fully. And then inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Exhale, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. Inhale, and keep that count going inside. Inhales and exhales of the same length. We'll do this for one more minute. And wherever you are in your cycle, inhale a bit more. And then exhale through an open mouth. And one more inhale through the nose. Exhale through the mouth. And just one last time through the nose in. Exhale through the mouth. And then just gently blink your eyes open. And then maybe give your shoulders a little wiggle. Maybe your hands a shake. And let's come back together. So that was coherence breath. And that's a very simple technique of making sure your inhales and your exhales are the same length by using counting. Doesn't have to be to 6. It could be to 5, 4, or even 7 or 8. And counting, inhaling and outhailing brings a little bit of balance to your mind and to your heart. And that's why we call it coherence, because it brings those two parts of yourselves into balance with each other. How was your experience of that, Leah?
Awesome. Awesome. One, it felt so peaceful. My body felt light. I could feel that coordination, like it becomes easier to breathe in, to breathe out without feeling like I need to, I feel like I am getting anxious about what is happening on my surrounding. And it is like I am in that place where it's just me. There is nothing else.
And it's simple, isn't it? It's easy.
Very simple.
Anyone can do this technique. There's no contraindications, whatever your health is or your fitness. You can even do this in public and no one will know that you're doing it. It's not like you're having to pull a crazy yoga pose. This is just breathing. You can do it with your eyes open as well.
Wow, awesome. That is beautiful, because for me, it is something new. It is something that, has brought something different, a different feeling in my body, because I've never done yoga, so I don't know how it normally works, and I know people really talk about it. There are different types and they feel very comfortable, they feel very light, they feel it kind of bring a serene in their atmosphere. And just doing this practical part with you has brought a different understanding, because when I do my coaching, I would generally, when I have a client who is a little bit uneasy, it's easy to just tell them, okay, close your eyes and kind of just don't think about anything,
Mm-hmm.
and just let your mind be completely free.
Mm.
So that you can begin to see clear. And they get a lot of it from in that practical moment, because when they have to let a lot of things go, or allow themselves to understand how to have self-love, or how to forgive themselves on certain things that they've been blaming themselves for, or whatever, it brings a lot of anxiety in them, and their minds are always all over. But when they're able to do such kind of activities, it makes it even easier for them to really grow and really be able to kind of understand. And I'm so glad we have people watching. Please, as you join in, just tell us where you're watching from. Let us know how the activities are encouraging you. They are blessing you. Thank you, Hayat from Addis, for watching in. We are glad that you're there. Thank you, Cheryl Smith, watching from Maryland. And so it's very interesting to understand how breathworks can really change with our lives within 1 minute of just doing it. It brings you to a different dimension. Benedict, tell us how you've been able to impact people's lives with this technique of breathwork.
That's a great question, actually, Leah. How have I managed to impact people? I think there's two things really that I do in my workshops and my courses, and that's empower people and that's connecting people. So I'm allowing people to take sovereignty, to take authority, to take responsibility for themselves. And I'm giving them the tools that they can connect, and they can connect with themselves in ways that they haven't done before, to connect with emotions that they maybe have not allowed themselves to feel. And when we don't allow ourselves to feel something, that just hangs inside of us. It doesn't go away, it hangs. And the more we don't allow ourselves to feel, the more stuff that we have weighing us down inside. And when we connect to that properly, we allow ourselves to release it. And that brings tremendous freedom and lightness. So that's just two of the ways I think that I've allowed people to do that. I've given people tools and shown them ways that they can take responsibility for themselves in their own healing and reaching their own potential. And I've allowed people to connect with what may have been hidden, what they may not have seen, what they may have not allowed themselves to feel for a while. And that is it's a simple thing, but it is so profound.
Awesome. And it's just beautiful. And Sherelle Smith is saying it is so true, allowing people to take responsibility, to take authority, because many a times all these things that happen around us is because we have given authority to the wrong atmosphere. We have given all our powers to the wrong atmosphere. But when we begin to take that authority, that responsibility, and taking steps every day to improve on the things that we want to let go, we grow, we get fulfilled, we get satisfied, we achieve our goals, and we achieve our higher selves. So we are going to make another last break, and during this break, for those who are watching, would ask you to try the exercise for this 1 minute that we will go on the break, and you can share with us on how do you feel about the exercise, how do you feel about just doing that practical exercise that we have done on just taking breaths in and out and counting in and just allowing yourself to fall into that place, into that space that you really desire to be, and to create that atmosphere that you really desire to create. So in 1 minute, we'll be back and we will continue with our discussion on transformation coaching using breathwork techniques. Hello, thank you for watching wherever you're watching. Thank you, Honorable Oviambo Sam. Thank you, Beva Nyatogo, Emmanuel Oluta. Thank you, Adelina Diambo. All these people are watching us, and they are appreciating everything that you are pouring on us, Benedict. So we know that all this information is going to be put to use, is impacting people even at this moment, and even those who will be watching on a replay mode, they will be also impacted in so many ways. Tell us a little bit, Benedict, how has been your feedback from your clients, people you've worked with? Give us like 3 examples of different scenarios that you've had, and people have really felt replenished, they felt impacted, they felt fulfilled and satisfied, and the feedbacks that they gave back.
Mm-hmm. One person springs to mind who came along a couple of years ago. This is a girl in her late 20s who suffered from chronic pain. She had fibromyalgia, and she had almost been housebound for a couple of years, living with constant pain. And she came on one of my retreats in England, and she thought it was just going to be yoga, but it was a breathwork retreat. And she had such an extraordinary, powerful experience of the healing power that breathwork can bring, that she said it gave her hope for the first time in years that life might get better. And so from a place of almost suicidal thoughts, she has gone on to have an extraordinary life since then, and her own path of healing and transformation has actually been and transformation in others, because she has trained to be a breathwork facilitator as well. And so this kind of path of healing and is rippling out from people as they experience their own healing. It becomes, you cannot help but yourself just bring it out to other people as well. I have had people come along with traumatic events from very early in their childhood, where they suffered abuse and they were not able to move on from that. They were stuck in particular patterns of reaction to triggers to certain events. And so being able to breathe and connect to that in a safe, supported environment, they were maybe able to release some of the energy from that. And whilst maybe our wounds and our trauma can never be they're not forgotten or healed, it's not like they didn't exist, but we just give ourselves the choice of whether we can react from a place of wisdom and love, or a place from hurt and suffering. So there's just a couple of examples of way that I know I have seen people heal and transform as well. And I could, I could give you dozens and dozens of examples. I have video testimonials on my Facebook page or on my YouTube account or on my yoga retreat page. It is honestly an honor. It is a privilege to be able to see and to hold people as they make steps in their own journeys. It is the most extraordinary gift to be able to hold space as they heal and transform. And I'm very grateful and very mindful what an honor this is to be in this space, because it is one of the most beautiful and fulfilling things that you can do with your life.
Beautiful, beautiful. I'm so glad that, because most of the, it's important that, when people can come back and say, I've really been impacted, I've been touched, I've been able to implement, and I've seen great changes in my life. It's also an encouragement to, to you as well, and to the many people who are taking up, in themselves to take this facilitation and coaching through this technique to help people to heal. And like in this year, I know definitely there's so many people wherever they are who are looking to heal from things that have happened, the pandemics that have taken a toll of us the whole of this year. And people are still in a lot of confusion what is going to happen in 2021. But then right now we are in that place where we can prepare ourselves to be able to understand that it doesn't matter what happens around us. We can take authority and create that space that we want. We can choose to consciously and intentionally have that space that we want and create that space and take that authority for ourselves, because the world will definitely not do that for us.
Definitely not. We have to make that choice ourselves. That
Exactly.
is our right and our responsibility from being alive.
Exactly. So Benedict, what legacy would you believe you want to leave with, the impact that you're already creating in the sphere of your influence?
What impact would I like to make? Now, there's another great question, Aaliyah. And I love it when I get asked new questions that I haven't had before. So that really makes me think, what impact would I like to have had? I don't know if you know the famous Italian painter and sculptor Leonardo da Vinci.
Mm-hmm.
When someone asked him sometime, when they were asking about how does he create such beautiful sculptures, how do you make these things? And he said it's really easy. Inside a block of stone, there is something beautiful waiting to get out. All I have to do is just free it. And I think that is my philosophy of teaching. And that is what I would love to be remembered by someone who didn't make something beautiful. I didn't create something. I gave people the tools and made the spaces where they could discover their own beauty. And that for me is the most, the biggest thing I think that I can do.
Beautiful. Sheree says, breath, connect and release, heal and transform. Choose to consciously take authority. And it's very easy and very simple, but yet so many people still struggle to do that.
Do we have time, Leah, for another quick breathwork exercise?
Definitely we do.
I would, after we've talked about how transformative breathwork can be, I would love to just try out a 3-minute breathwork of conscious breathing with you, which is one of the most powerful techniques that I use. Would that be okay? So the whole thing will take about sort of 3 to 5 minutes.
No problem at all. We can do. Probably maybe you can give us 5, for example, like 3 to 5 ways that people who are still having difficulties on how best to implement and how best to do this kind of practical exercises, and then we can do that practical exercise.
Great. Okay, so this is a We'll give a very short 3-minute example of conscious breathing or conscious connected breathing. Now, normally I facilitate longer sessions in this, so I would be breathing for 30 minutes to an hour, and that would be in a workshop of 1 to 3 hours. But as a daily practice, a 3-minute conscious breath work in the morning when you wake up or in the evening is the most powerful thing that you can do, almost like a prayer. And what it will do, it will connect you with that part that your wisest, truest, highest self inside. And it's the easiest way to do that, way easier than doing meditation, for instance, which can be a lot of effort and can be really difficult, and many people don't like that. It can be a lot easier than journaling. Because it is just natural. You don't have to think about it. It is just breathing in this particular style. If you have heart conditions, epilepsy, a history of strokes, or if you're on antipsychotic medication, or you're on early or unstable pregnancy, please go very gently with this. Don't force or push or go too strong. Just really go gently with this practice, because it is very powerful. Does that all sound okay, Leah?
Yes, that does a lot. That does a lot, because I think, the first few minutes of your morning can change the whole day.
It can. It really does.
And if you implement something that you can easily do when you're putting your feet out of your bed every morning, and I think this is a very practical, simple way. You just, sit on your bedside and you can just do the breathing, practically doing the breath taking in and out for 3 minutes. I think it would really change a lot.
And you can do this practice before even you get out of bed. In fact, when we do a live session, we do it lying down, and it is always best. In fact, you have to do this supported, either lying or sitting down.
Oh,
because
wow.
you want to do this. So before you even get out of bed, as soon as you wake up, you can do this.
Awesome. That is beautiful. So I hope those who are watching, that you can take this with you, and whatever you're struggling to implement, whatever activity or a routine that would simply straighten up your day. Of course, it is not a miracle, but it will ease up a lot of things of your day, the tension that you wake up with. It will create a space and an atmosphere for you that you can walk into and begin to carry it with you. What else would somebody be asking for?
Yeah, I like
And
actually the way that you asked if you've got any problems or issues or things that you're carrying with you. I think we should do a very quick 3-minute breathe about that. How does that
yes,
sound?
that sounds great.
Okay, so if you're watching this, I'll encourage you to do this along with us. Or if you're watching on the replay, make sure that you're not going to be distracted for 3 minutes, or you won't be disturbed, and you can just be in peace and quiet. So Leah, just close your eyes again and just be aware of your breath. Feel how your body moves as you breathe. And again, on an inhale, take your awareness inside to that still, quiet place within. And I'd like you to just bring to mind an issue that you're facing. It might be a conflict. It might be a problem. It might be a challenge. It might be someone who is irritating or annoying you. It doesn't have to be a 10 out of 10. This could be just a 3 or a 4, kind of on the scale of, how deep or problematic this is. So just something, an issue, a challenge, something that you're facing in your life that isn't quite sitting right for you, that feels it needs some clarity, or it feels you need some energy there. And we're going to do a 3-minute conscious breath work to bring some air and some energy and some clarity to that issue that you are facing right now. Whatever it is for you, we'll see if the breath can bring some light, some energy, and some clarity to that. We'll do a 3-minute conscious breath work, which is a breathing in a particular style. I will give you instructions how to do this. So when you're ready, let's begin. We start with our mouth position. So I want you to open your mouth really wide. Okay, really wide. And we're going to try and keep our mouth in that position as much as possible. which is hard. Okay. Then we start taking full body breaths into every part of our body. Into our belly, into our chest and our shoulders. Deep breaths. And then we keep our breath connected with no pauses at the top or the bottom. We keep it flowing in and flowing out in one big wave. Feeling all that energy, all that power, all that light, all that love entering our body. Keeping our mouths wide, our breath full and connected with no pauses. That's it. And finally, we really pull on the inhale, but we let go on the exhale. We fill up and then we just let go. That's it. Now keep breathing, Leah. Keep breathing. Full and steady. Beautiful breaths. And as you breathe, just bring awareness to that challenge or that issue or that connection that you wished. Breathe into it. Is there something coming up for you? Is there an answer? Is there lightness? Does it feel different? We're going to breathe for another 90 seconds. Breathe fully. Breathe freely. With no pauses. For one more minute. That's it. Take it all in. Every inhale is a blessing. Every exhale is a letting go. And if you know that there is some emotions or some feelings that you need to let go of, something that you're holding on to, something tight inside, let it go with an exhale. Let yourself feel. Let yourself let go. 30 more seconds of deep breathing. Really commit for these last 30 seconds. Commit to your breath work and commit to letting go. Ten more big breaths. And one more. Inhale fully. Exhale to your mouth. Breathe through your nose. Maybe put a couple of pauses in. And just be aware how different your body feels. Just be aware of some of the physical changes that you may be experiencing, or some of the sensations, and maybe some of the emotional differences inside as well. And then when you're ready, just blink your eyes open. Give yourself your shoulders a quick shake, and your hands. And then just gently tap on your body. Okay, tap on your neck and your shoulders and your head, and maybe your forehead and your cheeks. Just to bring yourself back to your body, your physical body. Welcome back. Welcome back, Dr. Leah. Welcome back to everyone who practiced along with us. How was that experience for you?
It was great. It was great. And it's interesting because as you do the exercise, you really feel something is happening to you. I almost, my tears were just rolling down, and I was like, oh my goodness, okay. It's beautiful. It's beautiful. And I can encourage everybody who is watching as a replay, take these practical activities that we have been able to do today with Benedict. He has walked us through breath working, and he has given us tips on how we can begin to implement that in our lives. It brings a sense of peace. It brings a sense of calmness. And I can say I feel it because for me, there are times I can really talk very fast and I can really feel like I need to move, I need to do. But after doing all these activities, I have felt like I am kind of released in my body. Tension, as in, that rigidness and that tightness has been freed, and you feel like very light. And the fact that you feel like you have tears in your eyes, that tells that there is something perspiring within your space. And Cheryl says that was awesome. Felt a true release of a situation that has been heavy on her. She felt calmed, and it's a beautiful tool that we need to begin to implement. You must not do it every day, but you can do it every now and then when you feel tense, when you feel anxious, when you feel like you need to get rid of certain things, because the breathing in and the breathing out, especially the last practical that we have done, I believe the breathing in hard is kind of, pumping it and getting everything. As you breathe it out, you're kind of releasing it out completely. You're letting go whatever is inside out completely, because the force of the air that comes out of your mouth when your mouth is wide open, it might look very interesting to so many people, but it is definitely bringing something out, and you feel that pressure coming out. And when you breathe in, you kind of, after 1 minute, the second minute, it feels light to breathe and to just dive into the activity. And we hope that you will be able to implement this on your daily activities, whether it is before you go to bed or you're just waking up. Benedict has even told us that you must not necessarily have your feet out of your bed, because it's an activity that you can do while still lying on your bed, and you just kind of release whatever things that have been in the night, in your dreams. Sometimes our minds are busy even when we are sleeping. It releases all that, and it kind of ushers you into the new day and into the new, clean, positive atmosphere for you. Thank you very much, Benedict. It was a great, great pleasure to host you on my show, Who Are You? To have you walk us through this technique, and practically doing the technique with you has been such a blessing. And I hope to our viewers, it has been also a blessing for them, and they will feel very rewarded. Sherry says, thank you, Benedict. Thank you so much, Sherry. We are so glad that you've been watching with us. You've been doing the activity with us. And tomorrow we have a great guest. She will be talking to us about seven-figure business, how she built her seven-figure business from zero to where she is now. She will give us skills, tools, how we can begin to implement, because I believe in this season of lockdown, we can bring a lot of changes into our lives. We can prepare ourselves into 2021, because this is like a gift for us to just go back in and look deep inside ourselves and figure out what are things that we can do. What are the skills and the talents that we can begin to implement in our lives? So thank you very much, Benedict. Thank you very much to all our viewers for your engagement. Until tomorrow, same time, same place, I wish you a good evening, a good morning, and a good afternoon, wherever you will be watching. Thank you, Benedict.
Thank you, Dr. Leah.
Come on, wake the streets up.